Hello, welcome to Let's Pour Up. My name is Kalina Bruce. My guest today is 14 years old. She is a student athlete. She plays volleyball. She's MVP of her basketball team this season. She is a honor roll student, and she recently launched her own clothing line, Brown Elysian, which I'm rocking today. She's my baby. This is a special edition, a mommy-daughter edition of Let's Pour Up. Welcome, Aleah Bruce.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Okay, good. So I asked you to prepare a quote for our moment of meaning today. So I'm gonna have you start with that, and then let me know why you chose that quote.
Right, let me pull it up real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on, I saved it.
Okay, girl.
I had to be proactive, or whatever it's called.
Proactive is a good word. Okay.
Okay. So one of the quotes I chose was "Never feel guilty for setting your boundaries that protect your peace." I feel like that has to do with a lot that's going on right now.
Yes.
Yes. I actually have two quotes.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. The other one is 1 second. I believe it was "Stay on your P's, positivity, peace, protection, all that." So,
all that.
Yeah.
Why'd you choose that?
Because I feel like that's just a very empowering quote. I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's good to carry that with you.
Absolutely. Well, I love the quote about setting boundaries because you got to protect your energy.
Yeah.
Like you protect your edges. Okay. Anyways, all right. Well, we're going to start by getting to know you a little bit better. So I have some questions that I'm going to ask you. First of all, how would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself as creative, athletic, innovative.
Okay, innovation.
I don't know.
Okay, a creator.
Yeah.
You already kind of said that. If someone is feeling stressed out, what would be 3 things that you would suggest for them to calm themselves down?
Okay. See, like, when somebody is usually stressed out, it's kind of hard for me. Like, one thing I hate is, well, not hate, but one thing like that kind of puts me in awkward places when somebody's crying or something like that, or somebody's like,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do with that. Like, I don't know if I should, like, it just
It can
puts
be a little
me,
awkward
yeah,
sometimes.
but if somebody's stressed, I would suggest them to, I would probably, like, because I don't want to, like, overload them with questions or anything like that, but just, like, suggest them to change the environment they're in, or, like, try to identify the issue, what's going on, and, like, detach themselves from that issue, or, like, find something that distracts them,
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Of all the things that you're currently learning, whether it's in school or in life, what are some things that you think are actually going to be helpful for you as a grown-up?
Jeez. Okay. I feel like I do learn a little bit more, like, life lessons, like, outside of school than I do in. But one of the things I learned inside of school and out is just, like, watch who you surround yourself with. It's better to have a small circle of people who, like, are supporting you and stuff like that than a bigger circle.
Absolutely.
Which I know you always tell me, go make new friends. You'll always make connections. Making connections helps. But
quality over quantity,
right,
for sure.
Opposite to you, I'm not super outgoing. I'm not.
Okay.
Whenever we have that conversation, it's always like, I don't need to make more friends. But
you like
I have
Whitney, huh?
But I've made some good connections that's gave me, like, a lot of good opportunities.
Yeah.
But I feel like the people who I'm surrounding myself with right now, it's like I'm in a more positive and more productive stage of my life right now than I was, like,
yeah.
earlier.
And I think what you said is important. It's definitely great to network and to have different types of people that you get to know, but everybody doesn't have to be your friend. You can make acquaintances. You can have folks that you could call and, talk to or process things with, but you also have, like, your tribe, which might be a little bit of a different circle. So I think, what you said is super important. Come on. I love that for you. Okay. What are you most afraid of, or what brings you the most stress?
What I'm most afraid of is like losing people who mean a lot to me, you know? Like for me, I know how, like, and it's not just like say people like passing or something like that. Like it's also just like losing that connection. Like I know how to move on and stuff like that. Like if I know, like if you're an important person to me, but you weren't like doing anything to like help me grow or anything or benefit, I'm not worried about that. Like I'm cool. Like I can cut you off, and that's
okay.
okay. But I'm saying like, you know,
Jeez.
I mean, like, I don't need negativity in my life, you know, but if
Period.
you're actually, like, helping me grow and stuff like that, and you a really important person to me, when we lose that connection, that's kind of, like, scary, you know, because that's one of the people who are holding you accountable and you're holding them accountable and stuff like that. One of the things that brings me a lot of stress is, like, when there's a lot going on, but I don't know how to manage my time, you know? Like, just trying to do too many things at once, but not, like, planning it out ahead and stuff like that, which I'm kind of a procrastinator, so that kind of gets but I always get it done in the end, but it's just like stressful if I don't plan it out, you know. But I don't do it all the time. It's just some cases.
Yeah, I think what you said is important because you're acknowledging some areas for growth, but also taking accountability. And so because you know, like I can be a procrastinator sometimes too, but I think that because you know that about yourself, you have to be extra diligent in trying to figure out like how to counteract that kind of shadow side of your personality. Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about social media? Do you feel like it's good or bad? And are there any apps that you consider to be great or entertaining?
Well, all of social media, I feel like, and we were talking about this in my health class, I guess, just talking about like media literacy and stuff like that. But I feel like all of social media is going to have a good side and a bad side. Okay. Obviously, like you can go out there, you could post something really like positive and influential, and then there's always going to be somebody who's like, oh, like she's just faking for the cameras or something, or like little racist comments or whatever. Like you can't avoid that because that's just how some people are. Yeah. But and then there's also like the beauty standard part and stuff like that, and the bullying and all the getting out there and just like being influenced in a bad way. But I found myself recently like I just when I get on social media, I've been on Instagram Reels a lot and stuff like that. So I just be on there and like, you know, the more you like stuff, that type of content will come up. Yeah. And I just be watching like funny videos. I be watching like baking videos, like how I made that peach cobbler pound cake
that was
thing.
Pretty bomb.
Yeah, I found it on Instagram Reels.
That was bomb.
Yeah,
did we find the Oreos, the air fried Oreos on TikTok or something?
It was like TikTok or something like that. Yeah, but I mean people like social media could also be good in a way like you can connect with people, like say people who like I have friends who recently just moved to a different state, like I got a friend who just moved to Texas and a friend who just moved to like Arizona and stuff like that. So just like keeping in contact with people, like you know, because sometimes their numbers change and they'll be like, hey, my number changed or something like that, or like connecting with family and stuff. But obviously there's always going to be a bad side and a positive side,
for sure. Yeah, and I'm glad that you recognize that. There's definitely a lot of good that comes from social media in terms of, you know, you've seen us be able to grow the business through social media and be able to kind of share our brand and our story. But, you know, again, there's also that shadow side of people who just sit behind the keyboard and, you know, aren't necessarily that positive.
Yeah, so. And it inspires new ideas.
Absolutely, you could
especially the business and stuff.
For sure, yeah. Okay, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
Favorite thing about myself, I think it's how I tapped into so many things like at a young age, you know, like trying everything. So like when I move forward in life, like I know what I want to do, you know, like just planning ahead and stuff like that, like how I tried different like dance, act, singing, sports like basketball and volleyball, and then like some sports I do like a lot and some I'm like I'm not that good at it, or I just don't really feel like that's my passion, you know. And also like just planning ahead for the future, like knowing what I want to do, where I want to go, if I want to go to college, do all this stuff. So just I think how I'm trying a lot of stuff at a young age and being involved and stuff like that instead of just like, you know, in my shell and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. What do you wish that adults understood more about you or about your generation?
I feel like with our generation, there's a lot of different influences, obviously, but I feel like sometimes adults think that like the whole generation is the same and all they care about is like social media or trying to impress people or some like, you know, there's a whole bunch of standards for this generation. But also like I feel like they have to know that like we're trying to like find who we are at the same time. Like not all the kids are the same and all have like the same, you know, standards or interests. Like they're trying to like, you know, be more creative, break out of their shell at the same time without, you know, being involved with the negative stuff.
Yeah.
But also that like teens do have stress too, you know? Like it may not be as much as parents because obviously our parents do a lot for us, but also with like school and stuff like that and like whatever else they may be dealing with, especially if they're not like as willing to talk to their parents about the situation or they just don't feel comfortable yet. It's kind of hard because you don't really know what they're going through, you know?
Yeah.
So just like it's different levels of stress.
To follow up on that, are there things that you feel that adults could do better to get to know the young people in their lives or that are a part of your generation?
I would say, I don't know, that's kind of a hard question, you know, but I would say maybe just being more open to new ideas, you know, like I feel like a lot of the time, especially like the older generation and stuff like that, like it's like, oh, things are supposed to be this way, you know, like if it's not traditional, then I don't really approve of it and stuff like that. But I feel like just trying to be more open or like, you know, making like compromising with the kids maybe. I don't know.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. What is your favorite song right now and why?
My favorite song.
I thought this would be an easy one.
No, because I listen to so much music. Like I have like 4 different playlists. At first, all my songs were on one playlist, and I still have that playlist, but it's like 80-something hours long.
Oh my god!
And then I had to break it up into like what moods I'm feeling and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, what are you feeling today?
What am I feeling today?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. I'm feeling. I don't know, but I could give you like a favorite artist.
Okay.
I don't know.
Favorite artist.
Okay. I have a lot, but
okay, yeah, name a few. Put us up on game. What are you listening to? So let's do this. If you were to put together a playlist like this, like you need to know these artists and listen to these songs, 5 to 10, what would that look like?
Okay, well, one of the artists, my first one, and I was just talking about this in school because they're like, who's your favorite artist or band and why? And I was like, I feel like Jasmine Sullivan, she's one of the best vocalists. You know, and I will die on that hill, okay?
Like, I'll be right there with you, sis.
Right. Okay, one that people don't really listen to or like haven't really tapped into, Yeba. Yeba is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, for the longest time, like, I was like, who is she? And then I listened, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I would say,
And they don't have to be new or any. Yeah.
PJ Morton. Okay. PJ Morton's good. Frank Ocean. Obviously Beyonce, because you know Beyonce has a lot of hits. Kendrick Lamar. I don't know. That's just a few.
You put me on to Destin Conrad.
Destin Conrad. Yeah, I just went to the concert.
Oh, you did.
It was really good. Like it was really good. He has a lot of songs. Like he has a certain vibe. I don't know. And Ombre. He's one of the people that he works with. Okay. And like they're friends and stuff like that. But she's dope. She's like from New Orleans or something like that. Yeah.
And what about old school? Any
old school? Old school. I like Mint Condition. Okay. Boys to Men. I always love Mary J. Nanny. Yeah. And then I don't know, like I listen to old school stuff a lot, like 112. Yeah, I can name about 90. Okay.
We'll take your word for it. All right. What do you think we have in common?
Okay. Besides looks, because I've gotten it so much recently, like, you look like your mom.
Yeah.
And at first, everybody used to tell me I look like my dad.
Yes. You came out with his whole face.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I just found pictures of Duke, the side-by-side pictures. So crazy. But anyways, I feel like obviously we have some of the same interests. We're both creative. I know I already said you're a little bit more outgoing than me, but even
but you're
then,
social.
Yeah, I'm social. I don't know. Sometimes our style can be similar. Sometimes
okay. Yeah. Give me some credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just like I feel like when going back to interests, like especially not even just interest, but like when I'm like my skill set and stuff like that now in school, like I know you're good at writing. I'm better at writing. Daddy's the math whiz, but
right.
I'm not that good at math, but I can write an essay. Like I can, but just different things like that, skill set and stuff.
Okay, cool. What do you think is different about us?
I feel like different. Going back to the social thing again. I feel like you said, I'm a little bit social, but my social battery gets low real quick. Like I be like, okay, let's take a hug, and then you just be over there just talking. Hey, okay, we're gonna leave.
I have to say bye to everybody. Yes. You don't care about saying bye to everybody.
I be saying my byes. If I don't see you, my fault. I'll catch you next time. But my social battery just be so like it goes down fast. I be ready to bounce.
Yeah.
Differences. I feel like besides like obviously eras that we grown up in, like different like ways that we grew up, I don't really know. Like I haven't really thought about like similarities and differences.
Okay.
One similarity though is you be trying to do the little dances with me. We both trying to be doing.
First of all, where do you think you got it from? Okay. Anyways. What is something that you're proud of yourself?
Of myself. What am I proud of? I'm proud of. I know, like, sometimes, like, okay, it was really hard for me to adjust to the new school that I'm at. Obviously, we had some talks about, like, me feeling like I'm not really fitting in, or I don't feel like I really want to go to the school anymore, like, just stuff of that. But I'm proud of myself for adjusting. And even though, like, I've had some challenges, especially in certain classes, like, by the end of the trimester or something like that, like, I always managed to, like, pull through and stuff like that, like, get an honor roll. I'm almost high honor roll, and just, like, mainly, like, just, those accomplishments. But also, I'm proud of the taking opportunities, like, me taking opportunities that were provided for me, like, with like acts on stage and stuff like that. Like if I didn't do it that first year, if Daddy didn't convince me to do it, I wouldn't have got any opportunities. Like I would be scared to take those opportunities. But since then, like I've been able to like open up for the Seattle Opera. I performed at the Benaroya. Like I've got to work with people and stuff like that I might not have been able to work with, or I might not have been able to network with because I was too in my shell. So just being able to take opportunities that were provided to me, and then it leading to other stuff.
For sure. Awesome. All right, last question. What do you think you'll be doing 10 years from now? So you're 14. So when you're 24 years old, what do you think you'll be doing? That's a long ways ahead, huh?
I mean, about 3 years I'm going to college, so.
Yeah.
I hope that I will be doing something music related.
Okay.
But if not, I always did say, like, because I don't think I want to pursue sports, obviously, but I want to keep, like, you stay in that loop. So maybe sports medicine, or, like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do, cosmetology, but really I see myself staying with music and stuff like that. Like, that's just the one thing that's never left me.
Yeah. So we might see your name in some bright lights. You might see you on a stage somewhere. All right. We're manifesting those things. Okay. It's game time.
Oh, my gosh.
So we found this game that we're going to try out, and it is called What Do You Meme? And so actually, Producer Blake, you're going to have to be the judge on this game because technically you're supposed to have 3 people.
Right.
But so I'm going to give you 5 of these cards, and I'm going to take 5. All right. And so then we are going to pull a meme card. We'll show the camera so that Producer Blake can see. And we have 5 cards in our hands, and we have to pick which caption we think best goes with the meme. And then Producer Blake is going to pick which of our captions he thinks is the best, and whoever gets the most points will win. Okay. Here's the first meme.
Oh my gosh, you love that meme.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Okay.
So that's the meme, and we're gonna pick a caption.
Oh my.
Okay, I think
I have too many good ones.
Okay,
it's not even
I'll
that
read
funny
mine first. So here's the meme, and the caption that I think goes with this is, when you lose something and someone says, "Where'd you lose it?"
Okay, mine is when you're bored and someone tells you to read a book.
I like your Producer Blake. Which caption was the best?
Kalina.
Thank you. I got a point.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, mine is when you open a bag of chips and there's only 6 chips inside. And the reason why I said that is because he looks like he's looking inside the bag of chips.
Mine is when you think someone's waving at you, so you wave back, but then realize they were waving at the person behind you.
That one wins.
Mine won.
Yours won?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're 1 and 1.
Okay.
Okay. Mine is when you're sick but not sick enough to stay home from school.
Mine is when you try to wash a spoon and it washes you back.
Another win for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Aleah is 2 and 1. Okay. This is a... Oh, man. Okay. Mine is when you throw away the box before reading the cooking instructions.
Mine is when you try to blame the dog for your farts, but no one believes you.
Kalina.
Yay. Are we 2 and 2?
Yeah.
Okay, tiebreaker. I have the perfect one. Okay, mine is when you stub your toe and you're waiting for the pain to kick.
I'm about to lose. Okay, your friend's face when she describes a TikTok and gets mad when you don't laugh.
Come on, Producer Blake. Tiebreaker.
Kalina.
Yeah. Oh. Mommy won.
No.
Okay. That was a fun game. Mm-hmm. So the reason why we wanted to play this game, is because we're a game family. Right. We play games all the time at home. That's one of the things we do to pass the time, but also to spend time with each other. So just giving y'all ideas, something you could do. That's a pretty fun game. Okay. This segment is called A Win is a Win. I want you to describe a challenge that you've experienced that you're comfortable with sharing and what you've learned from it.
Okay. Oh. Man. Okay, a challenge that I've experienced is... Man. Oh my gosh, that's so hard to think about.
I mean, I could think of a couple of things. I know, like, applying for school was kind of a challenge. I know we've had some loss. That's been very, very challenging.
Yeah. I would say obviously losing Nanny and then losing Bubba like 2 months later.
Yeah.
That was really hard for me because at that point, like, everybody was grieving. We were all going through our own stuff.
Yeah.
But at the time, I felt like there was a little bit more weight being, like, applied on me because I had people, like, like, venting to me. And it was just, like, like, I wasn't really vocal about how I felt. So I was just, like, taking in other people's problems as well and trying to be, like, their, like, therapist, and stuff like that.
You were being their sounding board to a certain extent.
Right. And I feel like it was also hard for me because when I went to school and stuff like that, like, nobody really knew about it and stuff like that. So, like, if I was, like, it took me a while. Like, I know the first, like, week I went back to school after Nanny passed, I told you that morning, I texted you, I was like, hey, Mom, like, I'm not doing good. And then you're like, what's wrong? I was like, it hurts, man. Like, just, like, the topics we were talking about in school, it was, like, just so mind-blowing because I was like, dang, I'm dealing with the same thing right now. Like, how to grieve loss and stuff like that. But also, I didn't really have anybody to talk to at school either because I was still adjusting to school.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of staff members I can confide in except for I found one person, and that was my Spanish teacher. That was, like, it's kind of random, but it was my Spanish teacher. And I talked to her, and she was like, man, and she was just kind of, like, sat there and kind of cried with me, And she was like, I lost my auntie recently, and she was, like, the one that raised me because my mom wasn't really there,
Yeah.
And then when Bubba passed, I went to go tell her what happened, and she was like, man, like, you've had the hardest year, but like, you're gonna look back and be like, I went through it that year, but I still made it through the year, So that was just a challenge for me, is finding people who I could talk to, but also, like, being vocal about, like, how I felt about the situation.
For sure. And I think that just looking back on that, like, span of not even 6 months, that was a span of 2 months.
Right.
But it's been almost 5 months now that we've been trying to process everything. You have been vocal here and there, but I think you do take on trying to be the strong one, which I wonder where you get that from. But you also, I think in you being vocal, we have been able to try to access different resources for you. I remember when you texted me and I just was wishing I was there. And the first thing that I did was text, a staff member at your school, and they were able to connect you with the counselor. And that counselor was like, hey, if you need to, step out of class or whatever, I think they gave you their phone number so you could text them or something like that. But I think it's important. What you're sharing is important, not only as a young person, but for an adult, that you have to vocalize how you're feeling, because sometimes you look just fine. And a lot of us, there's a commercial actually that I saw, I think on Twitter or something, where there were two guys and they were constantly going to these soccer games, and one of the guys didn't look all that great. And he looked like maybe he was going through some things, and the other guy looked perfectly fine. But at the end of the commercial, they show how the one who looked like he was doing great was actually the one who was going through all this stuff.
Right.
And so I think that was just kind of a metaphor for, like, understanding that, like, your strong friends need love too, right? Like, you got to check on people, but we got to practice being vocal. And I know that's something that's hard for me because I am not, I don't emote easily. I'm working on that. But I appreciate you sharing that because I think we can help each other with that too. Okay. What do you have any questions for me?
I would say, what has been your greatest success or proudest moment in being a business owner? Like, the years of Norlux that we've been, pushing through.
That's a great question. I think that there have been a lot of wins for Norlux. We've had the opportunity to move from the kitchen to open a brick and mortar. We've had the opportunity to partner with Dick's Drive-In, which was huge, being from Seattle. We had the Starbucks partnership. So there's a lot of, like, tangible things. that I would count as wins or successes, but I think the thing that I'm most proud of is I remember there was a day when you actually had said, Mom, like I want to start a business. And I was like, what? And you were like, I saw this thing on TikTok and I want to start making keychains and selling lip gloss. And at first I was kind of like, what is this TikTok thing? But we gave you a couple coins and you bought some stuff and you put some stuff together and you started going to vendors markets with me. I mean, we'd get up early in the morning, we pack everything up and go out and be out all day. You'd sell out of your stuff before me. But you mentioned that seeing me start a business and follow that through encouraged you to want to start a business. I think that made me very proud. In addition, we're both wearing these amazing hoodies that you made. So tell me a little bit about your company, your newest company.
Well, I'm still trying to officially launch my company, Brown Elysian Paradise. That's what it means. Just being proud that, of who I am and stuff like that, and just, the lip gloss and keychain thing. It was good for me, but I felt like I could get more out of something else. Like I feel like it was starting to slow down for me. Like I feel like I wasn't finding passion in doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to just like get the resources and stuff like that and be able to like be consistent with making hoodies and put my business out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll have time at the end to plug where people can find you. But all of that to say, those are wins for me. Like being able to provide opportunities for you when you get up and you're like, can I go to work at the shop? Like that makes me super proud, feeling like Norlux is more than just candles. And, we say all the time that we're using candles as a conduit to build community, mm-hmm. but also as a way to build generational wealth and to leave a legacy and create something that we're proud of. And yeah, that's one of my big successes.
I have another question.
Okay.
Okay. What is one of your biggest challenges when like working in certain environments, like specifically like predominantly white environments? Because I know for me, like not even working, but me going to a predominantly white school, it's like you could say anything or do something and they just be like, ha ha ha, you're so funny, and stuff like that. And it's like,
you feel like it's tokenism to a certain extent? Or?
Yeah, like it's just like, nah, that's just me being me. Like some of the stuff is serious and then they laugh about it and it's like, oh, it makes kind of awkward, Yeah. So what is your biggest challenges like working in certain environments and stuff?
I feel like so I've always grown up in predominantly white spaces, I would say, went to predominantly white institutions. And I think one of the biggest challenge, even from a young age, being in like honors classes and things like that, oftentimes you don't see other people that look like you, whether it's other classmates that look like you or you don't see teachers that look like you. And when you do see those teachers, you're like holding on to them for dear life because you're like, oh my gosh, And I think that being in those spaces can feel really lonely, and oftentimes you feel misunderstood or misrepresented. And then you also feel like when your teacher's calling on you, you're like answering for your culture. Like they're expecting your answer to be the answer of, everyone who looks like you. And it's like, I can't speak on behalf of all Black folks. I'm speaking on my own experience and from my perspective and lens. But I think that was one of the biggest challenges. And I navigated that by understanding that this is kind of what the world looks like, outside of these small spaces that I'm in. I'm not always going to be the majority in the room, and I have to understand that. But I also have to understand my value, and I have to be confident in that and what I bring to the table. And so that also comes with knowing that, like, I don't have to say something all the time because I talk a lot, obviously. I don't always have to say something, but I have to understand that what I say is valuable and that I do deserve a space at the table, even if I have to create that space. And so I think that is something that never gets easier. It's just something you adapt to. But once you get to that point where you really understand who you are and the value that you bring and the asset that you bring being who you are, you may not always have other people that look like you in the room, but you are there because you deserve to be there. Imposter syndrome is another thing that really comes into play in those spaces, and you have to understand what that is and how to, it's again something that doesn't go away, but how to navigate those spaces. You will be powerful in those spaces.
Jesus, my stomach is on 10, man.
What is going on? You hungry?
Yeah.
I said all that. And you sitting over here, I thought I moved you.
No, you did, but my stomach just growled super loud, and I was just like, my stomach is
Where
on
is
10, man.
Look at me right now.
No.
Okay. Well, we're getting ready to go eat in a second. Blake is they're cracking up. We're gonna go get ready to eat in a second. But usually as we wrap up, we do this thing called the pour up, and typically we do affirmation cards. And so for today, I asked us to write notes to each other. Blake. I asked us to write notes to each other. Okay, you already told me you wrote a short note, and I already told you I wrote a long letter.
Yeah, because I didn't know how short or long it was supposed to be.
The thing is, this is not about the length of the letter. The reason why I wanted us to practice this exercise is because I know that both of us are folks who don't necessarily talk as much as we feel. And so being a writer, sometimes writing things down is a lot easier for me to be able to say. I want to be clear that I know that I affirm you every single day. I tell you you're beautiful. I tell you you're smart. You're intelligent. I love you. You my baby, my stink, all that. But I think that just as a practice, one thing we talked about was I found this like mother-daughter journal where we can like write stuff to each other and kind of keep those memories. And so that's why I wanted us to practice this today. So I'll let you start before your stomach goes crazy.
Okay. All right. So I said, "Dear Mom, you are my biggest supporter and I appreciate you. Although you may think that I'm not going to need you for certain things, I'll always need my mommy. I'm always thinking of you and how I wouldn't be the person I am today without you. I look up to you in everything you do and I want to be like you when I'm older. You've taught me what it means to be a strong Black woman and I'm grateful. Also, P.S., you're never too loud at games, even though it might be embarrassing. Sometimes I like how you support me and you cheer."
Okay. Affirm, I received that. Okay. I appreciate that. Okay. I'm not going to lie. My letter is long.
Gee.
It's long, babe. I had a lot of stuff to say. Also, this is Mother's Day. So when I think of you, I reflect on my journey as a mom. So. All right. A letter to my daughter, to the young lady who made me a mommy, Aleah. It feels like yesterday when you were born, yet crazy enough, we will soon be celebrating your 15th birthday.
Jeez.
I know, crazy. From the moment you entered the world, we knew you were special. You have continued to be a source of joy, laughter, and love to all who know you. And watching you grow... Watching you grow into this beautiful young woman you are becoming fills me with so much pride and admiration. You are strong, determined, and unapologetically you. You do not mince words when it comes to your values and your beliefs, and you have never been shy about celebrating your culture, your Blackness, and seeing yourself in the room. So funny, we just had this conversation. I still remember when you were in the 2nd grade, and your school failed to properly celebrate Black History Month. You spent your whole midwinter break creating a PowerPoint presentation about Black inventors and the importance of acknowledging Black History Month in school. And then you emailed it to your teacher. I think she even had you present it to the class.
Yeah.
You have always had that unique ability to brighten any room and to add value to it. Your talents, dreams, your talents, dreams, and aspirations are boundless, and I have no doubt that you are well on your way to achieving greatness. Somebody is calling me. I often joke about the fact that I don't want you to leave for college. But the truth is, those little jokes are my own coping mechanisms for processing the inevitable. When you started creating your list of HBCUs in the 8th grade, down to the scholarships that each school offered, I knew then that it was a wrap. And honestly, I love that for you because, again, I know you're destined for greatness. I know that no matter where you end up at school, you have the power to make a difference in the world. And I will be there every step of the way to support you, encourage you, and remind you of how truly amazing you are. In the meantime, I will continue to be your loudest fan in the stands, unless you tell me not to, and your personal highlight reel creator for the next few years and hopefully beyond. When you were born, Nanny gave you the nickname Ladybug. I don't think we ever knew why. But even today, I could still hear her voice. Ladybug. You should know, first of all, that spotting a ladybug or having a ladybug land on you is always a sign of good luck. Additionally, ladybugs are symbols of healing, good fortune, grace, and protection. You know that you will always be protected by Nanny, by God, and by us. In the Bible, the ladybug is the bringer of gifts, and more specifically, bringer of good things to humans, and that is you. I truly believe the world needs your gifts and your good things. All in all, I know that being the oldest child isn't easy. I know that I don't always get it right as a mommy, but if I don't say it enough, I love you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad that God saw fit to bless me with you. Couple of things. Stop stealing my clothes.
You do it too.
Get out of my bathroom. And stop calling me bruh.
Okay, that one, like, that's, like, excusable. It just comes out. It comes off the tongue, you know? Like,
then we'll be good.
It's my vocabulary.
I love you. And thank you for coming to the podcast today.
Of course, of course.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel like we had a really great, convo.
Okay, good. I know you're interested in exploring the podcasting world. How does this make you feel?
I feel like this just set me up for a little, this is like a test run.
Okay.
For how I would, giving me, like, insight on how I would do a podcast, if, like, my initial idea for a podcast is to do it with my closest friends and stuff like that. So I'm like, this experience really was, like, helpful.
It's good. Awesome. How can the people find you?
Well, I don't have an official social media, but I'll be making a Brown Elysian Instagram page, so yeah.
Until then, they can peruse the Norlux page. We'll have your stuff on the Norlux website when it's ready to go. Maybe we'll take pre-orders if you like what you see. But thank you again, and happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
That's a wrap. Bye.